Alright guys, we're back with another video. So I'm making this to answer all of your questions regarding Meta. I've had a few questions regarding going viral. So how to go viral, why am I not going viral? And most importantly, the reach on Instagram and Facebook. If any of these are your questions, then this is for you. So by far, I would say Instagram is the biggest source of sales for dropshipping, especially the branded side. So this is a really important matter. Now, it's not going to be any fancy video, so it's going to be raw, and I'll try to give you all of my knowledge. We've recently made 10K a day, and we're growing this brand. So if you have the mental capacity to go through this for at least 10 minutes, you're going to thank me later. That's my promise. So the first thing I want to talk about is Instagram, because once again, this is the most important platform. So you want to grow this, like the foundations of your account really matters. So whether you're getting an old primed account or whether you're buying one or using or creating a new account, it really matters how you grew it, okay? Or at least how you posted for the first few weeks. So I'll give you some context. If you posted just controversial content for the first 1-2 weeks and then you go viral, you better bet that a bunch of these views, like a big percentage, if not all of it, is going to come from the wrong countries, okay? At least not the target audience you're looking for. And this is coming from a lot of experiences over the years. I've been in this space for more than 2 years. We have gone viral literally in days on Instagram, and it was, although the affiliates are in the US, they've gone viral in a week or even less than a week, and it was like 90 or if not 80 to 90% wrong audience, so we had to dump the accounts. So the conclusion is you need to post the right content, okay? Don't just rely on controversy. And then once you have built enough foundation for the algorithm to actually learn and understand what you're posting about, only then will it actually give you the right audience for your viral content. And this is obviously just one point, okay? Notice how I didn't even talk about where you are when you're posting, but it's actually answered through this example. So regardless of whether you live in the US or not, you're not gonna get the target audience based off where you are. It's just one factor. And I would say it's a very small factor. I would say it's more important what your content is, how you built your page, once again. So you could niche grow your page, for example, and then introduce some content of yours every now and then. Eventually, once you have some momentum, you can just all in on the product. But it all matters because it's by far in my opinion, the only platform which really doesn't care about where you live. It just matters about the whole equation. So a few factors are your audio of choice that you're using. Some audios, they just simply get you better reach than others. Another factor is the timing. So when are you posting? This is really important. Another one is gonna be obviously the format. So what's the video idea? Is it appealing to the US audience, for example? Another point is, there's a lot. Even the niche. The unfortunate reality is some niches, they just attract the wrong audience. I'm trying to bring them all, on the spot. So niche, format, audio, timing. If you want, we're gonna say destination, so where you live. Okay, but in my opinion, this is very, very, very minimal. Okay, so if you use a VPN, I know a lot of guys who use a VPN. I personally don't, and I get more US audience than them. So you can make whatever conclusion you want. So living in a particular country or using a specific VPN to a certain country will have very minimal effect compared to the others. It's the whole equation which plays the big role. So niche, format, audio, timing, and just the foundation. And I'm actually going to include within the foundation how you warmed up the account, okay? We're all growing the same pages, guys, okay? So my team is running the same product as myself, and I'm actually the most dedicated regarding the warming up. And I know this is such a controversial topic. A lot of guys, they think warming up or, doing a certain ritual on a daily basis, like liking some content or, just scrolling a bit before you post will not actually matter. But personally, after trying so many different, trials of how to actually get better reach. Currently, I have the best reach I've ever had. And one of the things which I do is always warm up my account before I post, every time I open the app, and so on. So it's an ongoing process. A lot of people think that warm up is only when you create the account. That's false. You actually have to keep on warming up your account. And this is, once again, something very controversial, but I truly think it plays a big factor. Think about it. The algorithm is literally a robot trying to understand what is your interest. And based on that interest, it will give you content based on that interest, but also it will, bring you audiences to your content that, clicks with your content. So you cannot tell me that the algorithm does not care about what you interact with. It definitely does. And that's why it's part of the foundation. So the warm up, you need to warm up your page. And then also part of the foundation is what you post when you make an account, or, on a daily basis. You need to have at least one format which is like reinforcing to make sure that your content is actually reaching the right target audience. So now that I've given you, I actually have skipped many points just to give you this main sauce. These are actually the foundations to have better reach. So now we're gonna move on to next points. I don't know why my mirror is not working properly. We're gonna refresh this. So next point is gonna be about how to go viral. It's normal to not get many views. If you just started your account, or let's say you've managed to find an old account and you start posting again, it may take you weeks, okay, if not months, to actually see your first viral video. And that's normal. Meta in general, especially Facebook, which I'm gonna get to, takes a while before you actually see, the first sight of hope. I've grown many pages on IG, past 50K followers, and one of them in particular was the most doomed account. I remember people, literally, some guy reached out in the comment section. He's like, I see you posting every day. He wasn't even a dropshipper. I remember I was posting every single day with few followers, 0 to 1 views. When you make a new account, it's normal, right? You get 0 to 10 views on IG. So I remember it took me a week or two to actually break out of the 100 views. To the point where people are reaching out in comment section saying, I see you putting all this work, you're not getting any views. Fast forward, I think a month and a half or even a month. This is 2 years ago, by the way. I had my first viral video, and then, that turned out to be my winning account, had more than 50K followers. It was my first winning product. So the point is, although some accounts may take longer than others to grow and go viral with, the bottom line is, it really is just a consistency game. So whether you have a good account, which can go viral in a few days to a week, or whether you have a bad account, which takes a month or two to go viral, it's all the same, okay? It really doesn't matter. But with this being said, now that I've known all the sauce about going viral, I wouldn't do the same thing which I did 2 years ago. So if I were to see that I'm getting 0 to 10 views every day, then I would definitely just dump the account and create a new one. But I'm giving you hope that it doesn't matter what your current state is. The end result is the same. It's just a matter of time. Some accounts, they unfortunately just perform better than others. And this is actually one thing which I would like to mention here is I don't like saying the word luck, but it's really luck. Some accounts just perform better than others. Anyone who's been in the space, they know this. They're just good accounts and bad accounts. So once again, doesn't matter where you are. Some accounts just perform better in terms of reach, in terms of views, like going viral, and so on. So that's regarding going viral. Obviously, I'm just telling you about the time. But so first point was the reach. Number 2 is going to be the virality. So the time could depend upon your content, your account, okay? So whether your account is good, and then your content. And this is where people don't like to admit it. The unfortunate reality is content does play a big factor, especially on TikTok. So if you're actually posting the best content out there, the thing is, my affiliates are posting the same content which we went viral with. That's why it's a bit weird, because they're reposting viral content, but it's taking weeks to months to go viral. So that's when you know it's a bad account, for example. But when your content, you're running a new product, you don't know whether your content is proven concept or not. it's a bit more tricky. That's why I always recommend you to recreate the viral content that you've seen from other content creators, whether it's a dropship or not, because it eliminates this question whether what you're doing is correct or not. So if you could follow proven concepts and do it better, then you're gonna, eliminate this point whether your content is good or not, and then it's just a matter of time plus account, right? Because it's just part of the game. So these are the first 2 points. And then I'll tell you why this is important to emphasize on, because we all do this, but unfortunately it's so easy to fall into this trap where you're just going to this cycle of posting the same content over and over again. And this is actually the biggest time waster. You could waste months posting the same content or the same format over and over again, and then thinking that it's just based off your account being a bad account. I don't want you to fall into this trap. It's a real thing. That's why you need to constantly be trying new content, but also new formats. So once again, ask yourself, is this format proven to work? For example, the 3-2-1 and then product reveal format. We know that this is a proven concept, but by the time I'm recording this, it might be just too late to post this. I don't think many people post this as much as before, at least. So let's say you're posting this today and everything's getting, 100 to 150 views. At one point, you either have to change your content, do it like better, or just change the format. You cannot just rely on 1 or 2 formats and then, be stuck at 100 views to 200 views for months and just blame the account. So it actually is about your content too. That's why, in my opinion, when you're making a new account, you're better off posting multiple formats. So 3 to 5 proven concepts. You shuffle them like playing cards. So you post 1 card, 2 cards, the third one, you sleep. Next day you post the remaining 2 cards, and then you go back to card number 1, and so on. That's what I mean by, this concept. You need to just shuffle these 5 concepts over and over again until one of them, has it's an outlier, meaning it gets more views. So let's say this gets 10K views. Now it's time to split test. Why did it go viral? Was it the hook? Was it the audio, the text, the content, the format? So you need to ask yourself these questions and then try to, split test it, meaning recreate the same content, do a few changes just to analyze what really made this go viral. And then once you do understand what made it go viral, you could constructively do it more and just keep on going viral. So if you went viral for the controversy and then you still had like a good CTA at the end, then you're good to go. You can literally shuffle this more over and over again to keep on going viral, but just make sure you have a good CTA. I would say, a sprinkle of controversy is good enough, but a lot of controversy, which a lot of people do, is what this, it just erases your CVR. And I've seen a lot of people come and go throughout these 3.5 years. I would say a lot of people think that their product or their account is a problem, but in reality, it's just the content. They relied on controversial content. They got hundreds of millions of views, did not convert, and then they just dumped the account and product, thinking that was the problem. It's actually the other way around. It's your content. So my bottom line is content is the most important thing, period. It's actually so important to the point where I'm actually looking for non-dropshipping formats nowadays. We have few proven concepts, which are from, the dropshipping space, but not only myself, but also a lot of advanced dropshippers I see, they always strive to test something new. So whether they get a new idea or a new trend, they try to innovate. So they're not reinventing the wheel, they're just adding to the wheel. So they get proven concepts from elsewhere and then they try to add it to whatever they had working. It's really important to do such thing. So this is what I recommend regarding going viral. It was a bit of a longer point, but this is really important. So now I've gone through the reach and virality. I want to give a few more points. So in the past, I've given you guys some advice regarding reach. So limiting certain countries by age. This is a feature on Instagram. You can literally search up on YouTube how to limit reach on Instagram per country. It's very easy. But fast forward today, I would say it's not worth it unless you're stuck with a big page. So let's say you have a big page over like 50K followers and you actually have a serious problem with your reach. I would literally, I'm going back to my 1 year ago advice, because that one worked, by the way. It actually increased my CVR a lot, limiting the views. But the problem is, whenever I do go viral, it doesn't surpass 500K views, which is a problem. So fast forward today, what I would actually advise everyone to do, instead of limiting the views, is to actually look at these points and try to understand, like, if you actually do all of these right and your reach doesn't improve, only then would it be perhaps a better idea to limit your views by country. But posting time is by far the most important, along with the format. These two are really important. Some formats you just attract the wrong audience. Same for timing. I'm very strict about the post timing, and I see a lot of people take it more seriously nowadays, which tells me that it really doesn't matter where you are. So someone could be in the US, Germany, wherever, doesn't matter. They all post at the same time as I do, for a good reason. So if you're wondering about the time, you could post all the way from 7 p.m. CET to 6 to 7. We're going to say 7 to 7. So p.m. to a.m. CET. This is, in my opinion, the best based off my experience so far. So yeah, only after testing all these factors, try to limit your reach, because a lot of guys, they think, okay, I limited my views by country, I'm gonna get like 100% or even 50% the right audience. It's not like that. I do think these are more important, because going viral with like tens of millions of views is a big factor, which is the biggest reason why people can make more than 10K days. So limiting your views is really just gonna downgrade or limit your potential. So try to work with these. And that's a problem, like if you don't grow the page with good foundations, it's going to be really hard to reconstruct your page or reconstruct your algorithm. But I'm going to give you hope. I've had a page, one of my winning pages was having like, I'm not even kidding, like 70% wrong audience. I fixed that, okay? I was able to change the content, the post timing, and all of that. This is like years ago. And yeah, it eventually went down to 20% US, and then Germany, Italy, and so on. So that was a big, like, it was an eye-opening experience, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I was able to reverse a really bad account to a good account. It took me like a month, and I'm not gonna lie, I did limit the views per country, so maybe that also helped, but all in all, I was very shocked that it was possible. So I'm gonna give you hope on that. And yeah, regarding Facebook is easier with reach. It's not really a problem. I would actually say limiting, reach per country on Facebook is actually worth it, because there's no limit to age. You just completely eliminate the views from there. So you could actually redirect your algorithm to get you the right audience. So yeah, unlike Instagram, I would say you could do that on Facebook and expect up to a month. You could literally expect 100 posts of you getting 0 to 100 views. It's just how the game is, okay? You should just get 100 posts in before expecting any views. That's how I like to think about it. So obviously along that line, along the road, you could get a 10K view here, 20K there, but just be stoic about it. Just post. It's at the end of the day just reposting, so it doesn't really harm you. It takes like a minute, so do that. It has to be a page as well. Yeah, just repost on a page long enough, it's gonna pay off. The best part is this is an asset. It's an ever-growing asset, so building the foundations and being very patient with it is gonna pay off in the end. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a bit of a longer video, but wanted to share the latest changes in my opinion, because this is a bit different from my older videos, especially after we've grown so much with the new brand. So I did have to update it. But let me know what you guys want to see next. Hopefully this was helpful as well. If you want to join my Discord, we have it's nothing's paid here. It's for free. We do weekly calls, but it's currently on pause. might bring it back. And we have also an affiliate program. So if you're interested, let me know. That way, you could actually know what the brand is. You could be part of it, but it's not a pump and dump. So we're looking for people who are here for the long run so we can win together. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next one.